Hello, everyone. Julie Boye here of the Wake Up with Gratitude podcast. I'm so excited for another one of my video interviews on self-love with a very special friend, Elvira V. Good morning.
Good morning, Julie. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here and to be sharing this time with you. So Elvira is the founder of the Love Your Vibe transformation, and she and I have connected. It's been almost 7 years since we met. We met through a beautiful friend, Vandy, who did this great event, connected so many beautiful people who I am actually still friends with today. So never underestimate the power of one event for creating a connection. But what I love about Elvira and why it was so important for her to be on this podcast and on this interview series is that she has literally this vibe that you can feel through the internet. Whenever she posts on Facebook, whenever you see her beautiful smile, this energy is absolutely contagious. And I really wanted us to hear her story and really connect this back to self-love, because I feel like that's the foundation of everything that you're doing. So I would love for you to tell us your story, because I feels like there's some really interesting and juicy little nuggets throughout your story to share where you got to today as the founder of the Love Your Vibe transformation.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Julie. You captured it so lovely. So first of all, I'm jealous because you're on the island and it's crazy snow here in the GTA. So I just had to get that out of the way. But yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. So yeah, my story, Julie, is I talk about, every superhero has to have a story of origin, right? Yeah. I'm the superhero here. But my story of origin is one of being a little girl and going to this amazing cabaret show that kids weren't even supposed to be at, but I somehow was in the audience. 11 years old, loved singing and dancing my whole life up until then. My father worked at the restaurant downstairs. This show was going on upstairs. So I'm not sure if I was there because he was babysitting me and stuck me there for the night, or whether I insisted on going because I love singing and dancing so much. But anyway, it was a cabaret. And I'm sitting there in the audience and I'm watching all these beautiful women on stage, and they're gorgeous, and they have these beautiful costumes, and they're singing and dancing, and their hair and their makeup. And I was this rotund little Italian girl in the audience. And I was just totally awestruck. And afterwards, my dad introduced me because he worked downstairs. He knew the women. And they said, "Joe, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful." And I was like, "I'm beautiful? I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful." And that's when I fell in love with them even more. And I felt like they totally saw me, I felt seen for the first time, because this was my tribe. In my heart and soul, I was one of them, just a few years behind. So anyways, afterwards, I said to my daddy, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." And my dad looked at me and he said, "Elvira, you can't be one of them, because those women are sluts."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he shut me down. And that was it. I wasn't allowed to be who I was. In my heart, in my soul, I was an entertainer. I was an artist. I was someone that wanted to see you smile and be happy. And yeah, so that was it. I was shut down. But here's the thing. Everything that happened was meant to be. My father did not encourage me to be an entertainer as a child, because, what he knew was that artists don't make money. Artists struggle. He was an incredible singer. He could sing like Pavarotti, and yet he never did anything with his voice, because his mindset was that serious people are not artists and they starve, right? So that was the family mindset. His sister was an incredible opera singer and was on world-class opera stages till she got married. She had to hang up her opera gown and put on an apron and became a wife and mother. So both my dad and my aunt died with their music still in them, okay? And they died with mental health issues. They died with depression, anxiety, panic. So these are the things that can happen, I truly believe, when we live out of alignment with our heart and soul. That's the name of my first jazz band, by the way. So this is where I had to throw that in. I now have another jazz band. We're performing for the mayor tomorrow of Mississauga. Anyway, so the thing is that, as a little girl, I was told you cannot be who you are. So then in my little 11-year-old mind, I said, okay, I can't be an artist. I can't be one of them. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? That's what I asked myself. So I became what they needed me to be. And so, yeah, I wasn't allowed to do it as a child. You know, who knows, if my dad had encouraged me, he'd said, oh, great, you want to be one of them? We'll put you in dancing classes and acting classes and singing classes. And who knows, I might be on Broadway right now, Julie, but I could also be starving. That wasn't meant to be my story.
Yeah.
My story was meant to be one of going through an inauthentic life for 2 rock star careers that nearly killed me. And, but to come out the other side and show people it's never too late. I became a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. To me, that's a bit of a miracle. I call myself a miracle mindset coach, because when we get out of our fear and ego and simply do what's in us to do, miracles happen. And we can shift our life from one of self-hate and as I call it, crap magnethood, to one of miracle magnethood and self-love. And that's where I live now. I love that you're laughing. That's where I live now. And that's what I teach people how to do. And it's actually become a world movement. I have light worker leaders that are using my tools that got me out of a dark place. So I had a blessed breakdown my last 2 years of my inauthentic life, which was, so, you know, when my parents said I couldn't be an artist, when my dad said I couldn't be an artist, okay, who do you need me to be? Well, when I expressed interest in science, I said, I think I'm going to be a doctor. They freaked out. It was like, oh my God, our daughter wants to be a doctor. So they encouraged me to be a doctor. Well, I didn't have the marks to be a doctor, Julie, but I ended up in lab technology school. So it was either nurse or lab technologist. So I ended up in lab technology school, got a job at Princess Margaret Hospital doing cancer research for 7 years, wanted to slit my wrists. I was living so out of alignment because that's not who I was. I wasn't a lab tech. I was doing this to please my parents. The way I describe it, Julie, is I was a freshly planted tree because I was not living my truth. I was living out of alignment. I was like a freshly planted tree. I never took roots. So basically any wind could blow me away. And it did. So I got bullied at work. I got bullied by my coworkers, my boss. I deserved it. I lived so out of alignment. They were pushing me out. They were doing me a favor, but I stayed. My ego was strong. So I never took roots. And then I ended up having depression, anxiety, panic disorder. And after 7 years of that, the one good year, Julie, was when I got to dance for the Argos. I got to express myself as an artist that 1 year where I got to, you know, cheer on our Argos. And I wasn't in depression that year, right? So that was a clue that this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? Being an artist. So anyways, I ended up getting plucked out of lab technology to become a pharmaceutical rep. And that was a good job. And it taught me how to be a good entrepreneur because I had to learn sales and marketing and all of that. So everything had to happen to get me to where I am. Even though I had an inauthentic life where I lived out of alignment, it eventually got me to where I am now. So I like to say nothing is wasted. Everything you go through serves a purpose. So anyways, I ended up becoming a lab technology, a pharmaceutical rep. My last 2 years, I saw a friend leave the pharmaceutical industry to become a life coach. Actually, I think you know her, Angela Conkin.
Yeah.
Do you know Angela?
Of course I know Angela, yeah.
Yes. She's a fabulous lady. And I saw her and I saw how happy she was. And I was still living as a pharmaceutical rep, you know, crazy, ego-driven world, get the numbers, get the trip, all of that. And I went to her house and I said, oh my God, Angela, what have you done? You look amazing. She was so grounded, so calm, so beautiful. Her face actually changed. And she said, well, Elvira, in the last year, I've become a life coach. And I said, what the hell's a life coach? And she said, well, you help people go from where they are to where they want to be and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you can get paid for that? Like, to me, that was like just a la job. And I put it out in the universe. And I said that night, one day I'm going to do what she did. And so anyway, the next week I went to work. My boss got let go. My boss that hired me at the highest salary, I was the most valued rep, and he's gone now. And had I been smart, I would have realized, okay, this is happening for a reason. Your mentor's gone. You should really go and become a life coach. Instead, my ego kicked in and I said, oh, maybe it's a sign that I'm meant to be the manager now. So I competed for his job with a male colleague who was a dear friend. He was my work spouse. It got ugly politically. There was a misunderstanding. And instead of fixing it, he went around and told everybody that I was not to be trusted, that I was not a person of integrity, like whatever he said behind my back, I don't know. But the whole company ended up hating me. And so I walked around with a kick me sign on my back because I was being bullied corporately. Right. I attracted another bully socially because I used to dance for the Argos. And the mean girl, so to speak, within that group saw my sign that said kick me. And she started kicking me too. So I'm being bullied here. I'm being bullied here. And for 2 years, I lived with depression, anxiety, and panic, because that's where my family goes when we get hit hard. And we're like freshly planted trees. We're not solid. Anyway, so when I realized, okay, I can't live like this anymore, I said to my higher power, give me a way out of this hell that's not drugs, because I was a drug rep and I knew what drugs did to my dad and my aunt.
Yeah.
That's not drugs, that's not therapy, or give me a way of killing myself. And that was my rock bottom. And guess what? I'm still here. I got away. And now that way has become a world movement. It's taught online, and then it's practiced over a year long with a mentor, a miracle mindset mentor. And it's helping others as well. So it involves a few different, transformational teachings and tools that save me. One of them is tear the kick me sign off your back, because we do carry vibrational kick me signs when we don't even realize it. And that's what brought me to that dark place for 2 years. However, I call it my blessed breakdown, because had those people not treated me that way, because here's the thing, I'm being bullied here, being bullied here. Who's the common denominator?
Yeah.
Me. Had they not treated me that way, I wouldn't have realized that I was the one that brought this on. I was the one that basically said, kick me. And I did get kicked. Well, guess what? Now that I'm on the other side, now that I've transformed to my authentic self, where I became a jazz singer at 51, I am now a solid oak in the ground, Julie. I have deep roots because I know who I am, and I have self-love, and I have love for the world. And I just want to see us all do well and heal and become who we're supposed to be our authentic selves. So I call myself a solid oak because I have deep roots. So I went from being this like freshly planted tree in my inauthentic crap magnet life to an authentic miracle magnet with solid roots in the ground. And I just want to cry saying that, because I'm so freaking grateful. So that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Let's like, I need a breath, because that there's a lot that you're just unpacking like 40 years of life in like a few minutes. And but I think there's things that we really want to just pause on, because I do think that there are people watching or listening that go to a job every day and cannot imagine like going any further with it, but they just keep showing up. They keep showing up because of the fear of the money, the fear of the ego and the position, and their entire sense of self-worth is wrapped up in a title and a paycheck. Especially in pharma, it's so funny. My good friend, Leanne Jacobs. Yeah. And she and I met, we worked, in corporate together. That's how we met. And we both had aspirations to work in pharma, because we knew like the money's so good, the benefits are so great. Like we're great salespeople. Like we do really well in this. And we just kept, wanting to go for this. She did. And it really sucked all the life out of her. I never got the job in pharma, I was so sad about. But there's so many people that, there are people who love their job, and that's okay. And that's great. We're not talking to those people. Yeah. Yeah. We're talking to the people who show up every day and are just like, why am I here? What am I doing here? This is totally out of alignment with who I am as a person. So if you're talking to that person, so imagine that person is listening to us right now, what do you say?
Oh, I just want to cry, first of all, and hug them, because that was me, right? And I just want to say, your dreams, your desires are in you for a reason. If you know that there's more in you and you just don't have the courage because you've got this great paycheck. When I left farm, I was making 6 figures. It was pretty insane. I know the kind of money people can be making, and they can't walk away because they got them by golden handcuffs, right? So I'm here to say you need to have the courage to get real and listen to what is inside you. That I was a crappy karaoke singer for most of my life because I lived from ego. because I lived so out of alignment. I needed that outside approval to tell me that I was great. I was singing all the time, but I wasn't really doing anything with it because, you know, it's like, well, what am I going to be, a singer? You know, so I just worked pharma. We went to, you know, national sales meetings. I got to sing karaoke. People told me I was fabulous, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But so, you know, when you're not, what, you know, that dream was always inside of me, but I never took it seriously. I never got to spread my wings and take deep roots with it. So I'm here to say that if something's inside you, it's in you for a reason, and your higher power brought you here for a reason, with your passions, with your desires. And your job is to get out of your own effing way, as I like to say, you know, fear and ego, effing. And I actually have a tagline. Can I sing it for you?
Yeah,
This is my little tagline. Okay. So I was working with this great coach in Portland, Oregon. Shout out to Jaya Rose. She said, Elvira, you have to have a tagline so that everybody knows what it is that you do, because there's so many coaches out there. And so we channeled this great tagline. And then one morning after one of my jazz shows, I woke up and I said, I've got this great tagline, but heck, I'm a singer. I'm going to sing my tagline. So this just came out of me, okay? Because I channel everything. All right. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Get out of your own effing way. Your miracle life awaits. Yeah.
I love it. It's like a jingle. It is, and
It
it's
is
so catchy, and it's so great. That'll be in my head all day. That is awesome.
But that's it. That's it in a nutshell. So to those people, I say, get out of your own effing way. Have the courage to take that passion to the next level. I took singing lessons for about 10 years, and yet I never thought I was good enough.
Oh, wow.
I just kept taking more and more lessons. But you know, when you actually do something, you know, like pick up that guitar, you know, go do that course on whatever it is that interests you, you know, get better at what that thing that you want, because then you can monetize it. And you don't have to just work one job either. I have several streams of income. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I run retreats, I sing jazz, I'm a sound healer, I make jewelry. Like, I do a bunch of things, but I don't work a day in my life, because everything I do is pure joy. So I heard years ago, there was this woman, Faith Popcorn, that wrote a book called Boom Bust Echo.
Yeah.
And I remember reading it when I was in my pharma days, and it talked about how the future is not like one job that takes you to age 65. They shake your hand, they give you a watch, and then you're gone to pasture. She actually predicted this, and I'm getting chills as I say it to you. She said the future is a gig culture. You're going to do many things, and you're not going to work for just one company, and you are going to love your life. Like, I forget how she described it, but basically I was so inspired. I'm like, yeah, well, how the hell's that going to happen? Right? Well, guess what? I'm living it now. Right? So God bless, you know, Faith Popcorn for putting that out there. But anyway, that's what I say is that, you know, if you're stuck in a job, you know there's more to you, you know, just start taking action. Pick up a book, be inspired, hire a coach. This is my specialty, actually, if I can put in a plug for me.
Yeah.
I help heart-centered, beautiful souls who have been successful in their first act get out of their own effing way, fear and ego, to live their authentic second act, so they don't die with their music still in them. Well, that is my unique value proposition right there.
Mic drop. And because you've lived it and you've been through it and you've transformed. So you have this very personal experience to bring to the table for a generation of women and men who have, and let's not exclude men. There are definitely men who are showing up every day.
I coach men all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because men, you know, a title for a man has a lot more weight than for a woman, and to give up a title. So it's so interesting. You know, I love the part too that we want to mention is that you don't have to walk away from your job immediately. You can start a side gig. You can use your full, you can do a side gig, and all the money that revenue you create from that, put that in savings.
Yes.
Right? Put it aside. Yes. And then if you decide to make the transition, you're at least not just completely leaping without a net. There is this big, you know, you have to cut out, you know, we hear it on Shark Tank. You got to like drop the full-time job to be the entrepreneur, to leap in on both feet. But what if if you recognize and you're aware that things are not in alignment in your life, but you also want to be financially mindful and you do the side gig. So my husband, actually, it's so awesome. He started his side gig as doing video game streaming, which I never thought I didn't actually really know you could make money doing this. I didn't know. He
Wow.
was never going to do it for the money. But it's amazing how, like you said, you're an entertainer. Well, my husband's an entertainer, and he entertains while playing his game. He has fun, he
Wow.
makes people laugh, and it's a side gig. And so that
Yeah.
side gig is about 4 hours a night. Brings him so much joy that, I mean, he doesn't actually hate his
Yes.
job, which is great, but it's just so nice. Like the amount of joy he has from a side gig is just really amazing. So let's, make sure that that is an option that
Yes.
people are trained.
Absolutely.
And I do
Absolutely.
think, yeah, working with a coach, if someone is like hearing this and they're like, I am where you were, working
Yeah.
with a coach can make it less painful.
Exactly, exactly. And if any of your listeners, watchers are interested, I do complimentary clarity calls just to see if I would be the right person. I don't want to coach everybody,
Ooh.
but if you're my person, then, and if this is the way we're meant to meet, then hallelujah, right?
Yeah.
And there's more ahead, so I love that your husband's doing that. I personally did the breakdown, which led me to my breakthrough, which was basically, this is really wild. I was in front of a doctor and working with my boss that day, and the doctor asked me a simple question. So imagine, I was like depression, anxiety, panic disorder for 2 years, and I'm working with my boss right now. But I had gotten that, okay, this isn't what I'm going to be doing forever. And when I had my breakdown and said, okay, you're the one that brought this on, give me a way out of this. So all of a sudden, Love Your Vibe started getting downloaded to me. And I remember thinking, okay, well, you can't do this job anymore. Everybody hates you in the company. You're a piece of crap over here. Your friends have walked away to the other side, but you can do something about it. What is it you really, really, really want to do? You can't do this job anymore. And I thought of Angela 2 years before, who had left her pharmaceutical job, and she was my mentor. She inspired me, and I said, I'm going to be a life coach. And as soon as I put that out there, Julie, my boss asked me to work with her, and we went in to see a doctor. And the doctor asked me a simple question. I'm an award-winning rep. Okay, I'm making 6 figures. The doctor asked me a simple question. What's the dosage? I don't know. It was some dumb question like that. And you know what? I started talking gibberish. I didn't even answer the question. It was like my boss had to see me having a breakdown right in front of a customer, because right after that, we went to the car and she looked at me and she said, well, how do you think that went? And I just looked at her and I started laughing. And I said, that was a piece of crap and I need a leave of absence. And that was it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I took that leave of absence, Julie, I started getting more of Love Your Vibe downloaded to me. Within a month, I'd gone from depression, anxiety, and panic to I was happy. I was actually in this kitchen right now where I speak to you, and I said to my husband, look at me, I'm happy again. I said, there's no effing way I'm going back to that job in January, because they gave me a leave of absence for 4 months. But what happened in that 4 months is, a month into it, they restructured the company globally. I got a package that took care of me for almost a full year. So this is what happens.
Yeah.
Leap and the net will appear. So there is that perspective too, right?
For sure. And for some people, and you're not the only person who did the leap and it worked out. So wherever you are in your courage scale, all of it is good, but it's acknowledging that it doesn't have to be that way. So what I want to kind of get into now is, I love this, Love Your Vibe. You talk a lot about self-love. You share about that. So what does self-love mean to you? What does, when we think of Elvira and Love Your Vibe and self-love, tell me what that means for you.
Well, Julie, it's the foundation. It's the foundation because, sorry, I get teary because they say if your why doesn't make you cry, find another why, right? And why stands for the world helped by you, right? You got to pick something that makes you cry because you care about it, right? So the foundation of Love Your Vibe is, in essence, self-love. It's living your life in a high vibration state where there's love and joy and gratitude. You are so big on the gratitude. That's why you're so high vibe. When you live from that place, instead of from depression, anxiety, panic, guilt, shame, fear, ego, right? When you shift to this place up here, that's when the magic and miracles happen. And so it's a learning. It's an unlearning of what we thought we were, and we relearn who we truly are. And who we truly are, I believe, each one of us on this planet is a divine being. We are brought here to serve in a way that only we can. And God, spirit, source, whatever you believe in, does not create junk. And when you truly connect to that and embody that, that's when your life shifts, because your vibration becomes totally different. I hated myself for most of my life because I lived out of alignment. Now that I'm in alignment, I love myself. I adore myself. Because why? Because I'm here to serve the world in a unique way. It's not about me. It's about my service on the planet. And if I didn't love myself and take myself seriously, I like to say, be fierce yet stay humble, right? Do your thing that you're supposed to do on the planet. Do it fiercely, yet it's not about you. So when I'm on stage, it's not about me singing. It's not, look at me, I'm the singer, I'm all that in a bag of chips. I don't really care what you think of me. I hope that you heal through my voice. I hope that you are inspired to go and do your thing. And I live in that place of self-love. There's a lot of artists that live in a place of self-hate, and they need that ego boost. So I do it differently, and this is what I teach others to do. So I think that when you see yourself as the divine being, that God is not out there, you know, so I was raised as a Catholic, okay? And in my religion, God is out there. You have to be good. If you're not good, God is going to smite you dead. Okay, that's a bit dramatic, but you know, you go to see a priest to be confessed. You know, there's all this stuff about the powers outside of you, right? Love Your Vibe is about connecting to the power inside of you. And when I was at my very lowest, Julie, and I asked for a way out, but the Catholic faith did not save me. I had suicidal intentions. The Catholic Church didn't get me out of my darkness. You know, Anthony Robbins, God bless him, his work is great. He helped me a lot of times. But when I was at this state, at my very lowest, his teachings didn't help me. Landmark education was great. I've done that. But at my lowest, Landmark didn't help me. The only thing that helped me was Love Your Vibe. And the basis of it is that we are all divine beings, and we're all here to share our light in our own unique way. How can you hate a divine being that's brought here to serve the world? That's what I connect with every single day, is I am divine, you are divine. We each have our purpose. Not everyone's going to get that in this lifetime, maybe the next lifetime, you know. So I'm no longer Catholic, I'm spiritual. I believe that we are divine. There's other religions that believe that are Catholic, like Buddhism and Hinduism. Love Your Vibe is sort of a mishmash of all these things that saved my life, basically, and helped me to create the life of my dreams, escape my darkness naturally. Never gone back to depression, anxiety, and panic disorder and suicidal ideation since I got it. So it's kind of a miracle, you know, and the basis is self-love. So when you ask me that question, it's like, oh my God, everything I do every day is all about self-love. So yeah, I love that you talk about it.
Oh, so good. And I love that like vision of waking up every day and reminding yourself that you are a divine being and that you matter, right? That we all matter and we all have a purpose and a reason for being here. We didn't just get dropped here by mistake.
No,
but it's the reminder, it's the forgetting. So
it's daily work. It's daily work.
You know, that's why my business is called Wake Up with Gratitude, because you do it every single day. It's not one day and it's good forever. You do it every day.
Yeah. Like washing, right? You got to wash every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. So as I wrap things up, I love to ask my guests a very special question, which is, you know, you have shared a lot of amazing ways that people can transform their life. But if you could inspire people to make one change starting today, so whether it's starting a new habit or stopping something or adding something to their daily routine, what does that look like for you?
The thing that came to me as you were asking me that, Julie, is get into a meditation practice. Because when we do that, we connect to our higher self. You see, it's tough to do. It's hard to meditate, but there's a lot of great tools out there. There's this online app called Insight Timer that I've recommended to a lot of my clients. I use this thing called, what the heck's it called? It's this thing that goes around your head, Muse. You put it around your head and it actually tells you when your brain is active and then you slow it down. It's like a biofeedback thing. So the idea is to clear your head of all the chatter, all the thoughts, the fears, the ego, and really get to your essence, your core, your higher self that speaks to you when you do get quiet. Like that's where I get a lot of inspiration, when I get very quiet, because that's my higher self, my higher power, which we are connected. We're one, we're both divine. And I get I listen to that voice. I don't listen to the voice of my ego. I know when my ego shows up because it doesn't feel very good, but I'm able to separate and tune into the voice of my higher self. And I meditate daily. It was tough to get into, but just start at that level. Listen to your higher self. What's your higher self telling you? You know, they say that when you pray, it's you talking to your higher power, but when you meditate, it's your higher power talking to you. And your higher power is your higher self. We're all connected, right? This is what I believe.
Oh,
And it saved my life. Isn't that cool? Yeah.
I hadn't actually thought of it in that way. So that's a really good way to think of the difference between prayer and meditation, which both can have a beautiful part in our lives. You know, prayer does not have to be religious, right? That's
no, exactly. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual.
Right. So prayer, I mean, it can be if that's your decision, but it also can be something.
Yes.
And I love what you said about meditation. So we'll make sure that we share about Inside Timer and Muse, and remembering just to start, because that is the thing, is it's meditation is never easy when you first start. It just like any habit, you have to give it time and effort to get into it. So this has been so fantastic. Elvira, where are the places where people can connect with you online?
Well, if people go to elvirahopper.com, they can actually download one of the free teachings from the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset. Okay. It's an online course called the VIP Mindset Reset Online. It's basically stage 1 if you want to be part of the Love Your Vibe transformation. But they actually get a free teaching. I teach the 4 circles of personal power, which saved me from giving away my power to so many people because I was a people pleaser, because I needed, as Oprah calls it, the disease to please. I had that for many years. But now that I please myself, and this was one of the teachings that really helped me, and people have told me so many miraculous stories of how it's helped them as well. So I encourage people to check that out. I'm also on Instagram, EV Hopper, and I'm on Facebook, Elvira V Hopper Coaching. So people can connect with me that way.
Wonderful. And I do recommend they connect with you because you do share a lot of good high vibe stuff. It's all great. It's a great addition to your feed because it makes you smile. It's a reminder of the good things. So that is really important, that we have things on our feed that make us happy and bring us joy. So thank you so much for this time. I really enjoyed it. It's been such a pleasure. What a great way for us to reconnect. Thanks, Elvira.
I love it, Julie. I love what you're doing in the world. Thank you from all of us. Thank you.